Today we're going to be talking about Linus Tech Tips and the numerous atrocities and felonies that Linus has committed, okay? So if you didn't know, Linus killed a man, okay? In cold blood, he killed a man, he stabbed him, he was rolling around on the floor, and Linus just said, "No, I'm killing you, all right? Your life is over." That's what Linus said. He whispered in the man's ears, he said, "I like it when you squirm." That's what he said. He looked him dead in the eyes and he said that. But yeah, no, today we're going to be talking about Linus Tech Tips, and we're going to be talking about what sort of is going on recently with certain tweets being made about Linus, talking about other people in the sort of tech review community, if that's a term, and other people in the sort of face as Linus that have made other videos on him and his company. Now, Linus is, he's sort of a strange little guy. He kind of gives me like small dog syndrome vibes, but that might also just be me. But he's a very important person, right? He's a very inspirational person. He's affected a lot of people's lives, and I think he's affected a lot of people's lives for the better. He produces some pretty decently well-made content. He gives some usually pretty goddamn solid advice, and I'd say all around it's pretty safe to follow Linus Tech Tips and take the advice that he gives in his videos. However, it has been shown from a creator by the name of Gamers Nexus that Linus Schminus has been up to some no good, to some dirty deeds, if you will. Now, Linus he's been meandering about, he's been getting his silly little grin on, and he's been saying, "I love misinformation." And he's been distributing some little misinformation throughout his videos. He's been goofing about, you could say. But Linus has recently come under some serious fire from Gamers Nexus, where Gamers Nexus made a video on him documenting the different times that Linus has either given out bad information, talked shit about a company due to his own faults, or just generally not tested things and had his space and his area and his studio really fucking poorly run. There was one time that's documented where Linus tried to run a product on a chip that was not compatible, and he later ended up calling the company out for producing a bad product and saying that the product was genuinely bad, despite the company having told him that they didn't test the product on the specific chip that he was referring to. So there's a potential that it wouldn't be compatible.
If this wasn't a 3090 Ti, then we don't have another 3090 Ti that we can take apart.
How the hell did we not know what GPU this thing was?
I thought it was a 3090 Ti.
So we just casually had a 4090 sitting on the shelf, clearly labeled?
Stating that it should work, despite it not being explicitly compatible. The company did not tell LMG that it would be 4090 compatible. They told LMG that they could try to use a 4090, but Billet Labs itself had not tested one as it didn't have a 4090 at the time.
Cool product, but it's a bad product.
It looks great.
Yeah, it looks super cool.
Are you just saying it's bad just purely because of the price?
It's bad because it makes absolutely no sense and nobody should buy it. Most of the community is actually really amazing, but there's a vocal minority that looks at something like that and goes, lazy, out of touch, whatever else. No, I'm just really experienced at this.
Oh! You got it.
Crap.
Did you put it in backward?
Get a shot of that. Look at that.
So, in short, due to his own fault, he was the one shit-talking a company, which leads him to say that the company released a bad product, despite the product only not working because he was the person who tried to use it with something it didn't work with, you know? You feel me? Like, it was kind of his fault in the first place that fucking happened. So, I don't know why he's getting all up in arms and antsy about it. He's getting pretty antsy, alright? But I don't really see a lot of the larger issues with Linus Tech Tips. 90% of their content, I'd beg to say maybe a little lower, maybe like 85% of their content has little to no slip-ups. They produce a lot of worthwhile videos to watch. And I generally just say that like this will have no effect on Linus Tech Tips as a company if he does stop this behavior, because a lot of this behavior is kind of shitty. A lot of this behavior is genuinely just him getting shit wrong, him or his employees getting shit wrong. And while that's okay, everybody fucks up, as Gamers Nexus highlights in this video, you do need to take charge at a certain point and allow your company to have enough time to make a video that isn't dog shit. You need to allow your company to actually distribute a product that people are willing to watch, instead of distributing a product that is riddled with misinformation that could potentially mislead a customer. Do I think Linus is a terrible, evil person? No. And the one allegation that got brought up about Linus potentially bullying a child into suicide is pretty close to vague at best, and also pretty close to null and void, given that Linus publicly denounced the bullying of this child twice, and he also purchased the play button from the same price that the kid bought the play button from in the first place, which is what the whole drama was about. It's a really confusing, dark rabbit hole, and all I have to say about it is that, one, I didn't research too much into it because it seems kind of like a cluttered, closed and shut case. Like, this is potentially either not the father of a dead child or the father in extreme mourning and grief. So, you know, I don't want to give too much light to this. I don't want to say that this is one way or isn't another way. I feel as though this allegation is more than likely false. And I would also beg to say that the Gamers Nexus video was really well made, and I'm going to leave a link to it down in the description. I encourage you deeply to go check it out if you want to learn more about Linus Tech Tips in this situation. And I would also say that you should most likely do a lot of your own research. Go to pcpartsbuilder.com. That is another great place to learn about what things are compatible with what kinds of computers you are attempting to build. While I think Linus Tech Tips is a valuable tool, and I think you should definitely use his channel, don't use it as an end-all be-all. You should definitely probably just use it as a reference guide, and then use other channels on top of it to sort of form your own opinion and your own idea of what things work and what don't. I feel like that's the best course of action to take, instead of just religiously following Linus Tech Tips. While I don't think he really, is a bad thing to religiously follow, I think he's more than likely going to get some more things wrong in the future. I simply just don't think you should use his services exclusively, although I think he's a great content creator who deserves a lot of respect. But yeah, if you liked what I said and you liked what you heard, go check out the subscribe button and like the video if you could, leave a comment, support the channel. But yeah, I hope you all had an absolutely phenomenal day. I hope you all had a lot of fun with whatever you did, however you spent your time, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bro, talk shit, we running him down. He almost moved with a gang, now. That shit is not advised. I'ma come up now, some people with no rise. They ain't got no money and they not up no surprise. When I'm rapping, I'm a